Good morning. Welcome to a premium and public video discussion for Friday, December 16th, 2022. Getting ready for the weekend. It's the weekend before the holiday weekend, Hanukkah, Christmas, and New Year's and Kwanzaa and everything else, which means, in my opinion, it means a whole lot of feasting and a lot of fun. But it also means things could get pretty tricky around this time of year when it comes to storms, because everyone is traveling and you can get stuck in airports and you're driving on the roadways. In fact, just last year we saw that in Virginia, creating a lot of problems there the week after Christmas, I believe, if I remember correctly. So there's a lot going on. So I wanted to do this video to basically dispel some of the rumors out there, because I saw some very interesting takes. And of course, the snow maps are already out for the pre-Christmas Eve storm. I guess they're starting to call that now. But before we do that, we also have our storm that is currently in place. And of course, if you'd like to help the channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Let your friends and family know where you get your favorite weather information from. And if you're interested in more detailed weather information like what we're about to go over now, definitely check out the Premium Consulting Membership, about $11 a month or $80 a year. You could also do seasonal for $30, which covers you the entire winter. Some people like spring, so they do all spring. So definitely there's that option for you there. Now this morning we have a storm that is lifting through the region. It is our secondary low pressure system. It's right about here. And you could tell that because the winds are coming from the east-northeast over Long Island, the north-northeast over New Jersey, and as you head towards southern New Jersey and the Delmarva Peninsula, they're coming in from the west. So your low pressure system's right about here. Temperatures throughout the region range from the mid-30s, lower to mid-30s over the far northern interior, and that's leading to areas of snowfall still continuing in the Poconos and Catskills. We had snow hang on a little bit longer than what was expected yesterday in northwestern New Jersey. Some of the cold air at the mid-levels kind of got trapped, and as a result, we had this intense band that set up that pushed snowfall totals a little bit above what was expected. Not by too much, though. It wasn't like a 1-inch snowfall and said you get like 10. But in this case, it was maybe 2 or 3 more inches than what was expected in a few locations in northwestern New Jersey. But now that has gone over to rain. And of course, you have rain along the coast. It's always been a rainstorm for the coastal plain, with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s around the New York City metro, mid to upper 40s around the Philadelphia metro, but upper 40s to lower 50s around portions of southern New Jersey. So certainly a warm storm for the coast. It's kind of raw out, and just wet and damp, and they've had plenty of rain, about 1 to 2 inches of rain throughout the coastal plain. So when we take a look at our latest radar and surface map, there's our low pressure at 998 millibar low. That would typically be a pretty strong low. But, as I'm about to show you, the primary low, the stronger low pressure system of this whole evolution of the storm, is still off to our west. Now, as our secondary low intensifies and gets better organized, what you're going to see is a consolidation even more so of this precipitation shield. But by the time it really gets really heavy with this new precipitation shield solidifying, it's pretty much going to impact the Green and White Mountains. But there's still going to be some additional snowfall for the Poconos and Catskills, probably about another 3 to 6 inches, 6 to 12 inches around the Capital District on top of what they already got with this storm, and rain continuing along the coastal plain. And then we start to get more scattered showers by this afternoon. And we can see that pretty nicely here in our setup. And I wanted to break this down for you because it gives you a better idea of what we might be dealing with for the end of next week. So this is your primary low and this is your secondary low. Okay, your primary low not only is stronger at the surface, but also when you go up higher in the atmosphere. So 925 millibars, 850 millibars, and 500 millibars. You can also do 700 millibars. And why that's important is because that influences the way that the air masses move around this storm, which can be a little bit more complicated than just a basic one-off. Like, okay, stronger lows here, so everything's warmer. Here's a good example of that. When we take a look at the surface lows here, The wind setup here on the coastal plain here allows you to keep colder air that funnels in from New England over the interior, but not on the coast, because this low pressure system is still producing easterly fetch, and you have that showing up here on at 850 millibars, but basically it just drives all the warm air into the coastal plain. If the primary low was here, this would be gone, right, or severely weakened, and you'd get strong cold air transport slamming into the center of this low, and as a result, you'd get rain changing over to snow on the coast. But you don't get that when you don't have a primary low pressure system on the coast, but instead over the interior. So location matters, right? So in this storm, as the secondary low pressure system continues to intensify, and we see that pretty nicely here on our upper level winds, you can start to see the formation of a bit of circulation at 500 millibars. You can see that pretty nicely on the satellite picture. You can see on the visible satellite picture a nice cutoff here showing rising air, sinking air over Virginia, clearing out very nicely. On the infrared satellite picture, you can see the primary storms back here. Our secondary lows starting to get better and better organized, so you're starting to see a little bit more lifting taking place over New England and up towards the Poconos. But you can see the primary circulation in this whole pattern is still back off to the west, and that shows up even more nicely on the water vapor satellite picture. Why is this storm so important? Especially for you guys on the coast who are dying for snow, asking for me every day, when are we going to see snow? When are we going to see snow? Why is this storm so important? Well, what this storm does is that it officially crushes and puts an end to the Southeast Ridge. So now you open up a whole bunch of different options and setups here going forward with this weather pattern. So this storm is necessary to get us to that point, and we are at that point. So notice no more Southeast Ridge to worry about. You get a nice deep trough over the eastern United States as a result of this storm. And there's our secondary low pressure system with enhanced lifting starting to develop, which is going to allow for the consolidation of this precipitation shield. And again, just kind of a wet day along for most of the region. But if you're in the Poconos and Catskills, expect some of that wintry mix right now changing back over to all snow and being heavy at times as the storm slowly pulls away. So now we talk about the next potential for our storm. So again, here's our storm pulling away. By tomorrow, we dry out. Everything's going to be nice and tranquil for this weekend, although a bit chilly. But I guarantee you everyone's focus is going to be on a storm for next week. And I want to show you 500 millibars because I want to show you the error in this particular model, how it evolves, right? So what do we have here? First of all options are on the table, including a storm bombing out over the coastal waters, producing widespread snowfall, to a storm tracking on the coastal plain and intensifying while producing rainfall on the coast and snow over the interior, and everything in between. Okay, the only thing that I really would take off the table now is no storm forming. At this point, we have pretty strong support that a storm will be forming. Now, in the European solution, the outcome is in the realm of possibilities, but how it gets there is not really reasonable, because what it tries to do here at each level of the atmosphere is that it tries to vertically stack the storm, but it does it in such a way that violates certain laws of physics. Okay, so what it tries to do is that it takes the 850 millibar low and the 700 millibar low and pushes it to the west of the 500 millibar low, which typically doesn't happen. So that right there is a sign that there's an error involved in the model guidance. But is the solution of a storm on the coastal plain driving in warm air a reasonable potential solution? And the answer is yes. And the key thing to understand with that, and here, let me just zoom in here real fast so that way you guys can get a better idea of the 500 millibar setup. So here we are at 500 millibars. So there we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, in that scenario, what it's trying to do here, especially in this setup right here, is that it vertically stacks the storm, but then it tries to pull everything further west too fast. So this part right here at 850 millibars, this is an error because at 500 millibars, your 500 millibar low is on the coast. So your 850 millibar, if you're going to have a vertically stacked storm, your 700 millibar low should be about here. Your 850 millibar may be on the coast, and that would lead to like a wintry mix changing over to rain on the coastal plain, I-95 corridor wintry mix, and over the interior all snow. If this was to happen and it became vertically stacked, which means each upper level low is on top of each other, and then the surface low is on top of that. So that's how you would get that type of solution. However, if you're wondering whether or not a storm could track on the coastal plain or to the west of the I-95 corridor, it comes down to this ridge right here, okay? This ridge is far more important than what everyone's going to be focusing on in terms of like the flashy PVA and the snow maps and all that stuff. If this ridge here is flat, then the wavelength of the trough is such that it won't allow for a perfect evolution of the storm, and then what you can end up with then is a track that tracks on the coastal plain or a track that pushes out further east. What you want is for this ridge, especially around Montana and Idaho, to amplify a little bit, because that amplification will allow for this trough to dig faster. The trough digs faster, allows for a storm track over the coastal waters. When it comes to winter storms, remember, it's almost like watching ice skating. If you're off by just a little bit, bad things can happen, okay, in terms of doing the routines. In terms of winter storms, if you have one feature that's just a little bit off, it can significantly disrupt the evolution of that winter storm. So, again, this is why I said yesterday, yes, there's a storm. Don't focus on the details right now, because you're going to get 50 different details between now and Wednesday. And right about Wednesday, when we have our next live chat, well, that's going to be a very interesting live chat, because by then we might be talking about a major winter storm. Actually, probably will be talking about a major winter storm impacting the region. Now, one thing to just look at here at the 500 millibar level, you look at the different features here. The one thing I will say, all model guidance picks out the idea of a major East Coast storm. The question is really, how does it evolve? Okay, that's really the bottom line. And so as a result, let's take a look at our going forecast. So for today, rain along the coast, snow continuing in the Poconos and Catskills will gradually taper off. Look for high temperatures, really not moving all that much from what we're seeing this morning. Mid-30s over the higher elevations, mid-40s to lower 50s over the rest of the region. Just kind of a raw, wet day. Tonight and tomorrow, that low pressure system lifts up into the Gulf of Maine. Look for clearing skies slowly with a few lingering snow showers here and there. Low temperatures will fall off into the lower to mid-20s over the far northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s in your suburbs, mid to upper 30s along the coast. Temperatures are really going to have a chance to plummet where we've seen the most snowfall, because you're going to have better radiational cooling, especially as we get more clearing. For tomorrow afternoon, look for scattered cloud cover, still windy conditions, can't rule out a few flurries here and there. Look for high temperatures ranging from the lower to mid-30s over the interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. For Sunday, tranquil conditions are expected. Again, a weak trough could pass through, producing an isolated flurry. Most of that is based off the enhancement of the lake effect snow that is going to be forming off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. So don't be surprised to get a nice little snow shower passing through, let's say, the Poconos or Catskills. Could possibly even reach the coast if we get it sustained long enough. Look for temperatures on Sunday to range from the lower to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to lower 20s over the suburbs, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior and mid to upper 30s along the coast. On Monday, again, scattered cloud cover is expected. Look for breezy conditions. Can't rule out a passing snow shower or two. Low temperatures will range from the mid to upper teens over the interior, lower to mid 20s in your suburbs, mid to upper 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. On Tuesday, look for scattered cloud cover, generally tranquil weather conditions. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper teens over the interior, lower to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. And on Wednesday, pretty much quiet, tranquil. Low temperatures will range from the single digits to mid-teens over the interior, upper teens to mid-20s along the coast, mid to upper 20s in your urban areas. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 20s over the interior, lower to mid-30s along the coast. Then on Thursday, this is where things get interesting. We have our storm that is forming along the coast. Again, variety of different options here to keep an eye on. On Thursday, we could have this low pressure system tracking over the coastal plain, could be over the coastal waters. We might be dealing with all snow, a mix. Basically, just know a major winter storm is likely to develop on Thursday with low temperatures starting off in the lower to mid-teens over the interior and upper teens to mid-20s in your suburbs, mid to upper 20s in your urban areas and along the immediate coast. High temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s over the interior, mid to upper 30s along the coast. The storm tracks a little bit further east, and we could be looking at lower to mid-30s throughout the entire region with periods of snow. So, yeah, it's going to be a nasty end to the next week. And then as the storm lifts up towards New England, we start to see snow showers lingering throughout the region on Friday, with temperatures ranging from the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast, high temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the interior, and upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. We'll continue to keep an eye on this evolving storm over the next several days. And as always, stay safe out there.